It is Wyman and Bob live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, and joining us here in our little room off to the side is the one, the only Jake Bobo with us. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Have you gotten used to the attention you get? We had a chance, me and Chris Francis from Channel 7 and Stacey Ross, we interviewed you after a game on the field there, and it was like one of the Beatles. I'm not kidding.
That's not true.
It is true. It's absolutely
Jake,
true.
I was up doing my recap thing I do, and I heard Bobo chants.
They were chanting. There were already handmade signs. I need more Bobo in my life. I mean, they were screaming, "Give me your gloves! I want autographs!" The whole thing.
He's not enjoying this.
I know he's very humble, but you are remarkably popular. Have you gotten used to that yet? Is it still weird? Because you were kind of that day we asked you about it. You're just kind of like, it's kind of
odd,
kind of weird.
Yeah. No, it takes a little while to get used to it. I'm working on it. Getting better, but it's just the name, man. People like saying the name.
Well, I asked him today. I go, do you think if his name was Jake
Johnson,
Smith?
Jake Johnson.
Smith, would the still be there?
No.
You don't think so? You think it's just the name?
Well, the name it helps just because people like saying the name. So it's like,
Has that been your whole life?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. With coaches, it's been a problem. Whoever.
Yeah. So Jake, we ask the hard-hitting questions on this show.
Of course y'all do, yeah.
All day, since 2 o'clock, we've been asking the question, is that a mullet?
Ooh.
Are you sporting a mullet? Or
He said he thought you had a mullet, and I go, I don't remember seeing that.
It was at one point. It's overgrown right now. I need to get a haircut. My mom and girlfriend are on my case about it. So that'll probably, the mullet will be back here in a couple days. Okay. Hopefully.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Do you think it's something, I've said this, don't take it the wrong way, that 10 years from now, when you get a fresh cut mullet is always pretty impressive, but you're going to look at those pictures 10 years from now and talk to your close people around you and go, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah. Well, see, hopefully 10 years from now I still have my hair. But, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
That'd be good.
I don't know. It's a superstitious thing for me. I don't love cutting my hair, at least the back in season. I just never have done that.
It's funny. I asked all the media guys, and they go, "Well, we can't really tell because you've always got
I gotta keep the hat on,
or you got like a band going there.
Yeah,
so
keep the hair out of the eyes.
Yeah,
like that we're peppering people with questions about your hair.
No, I appreciate that.
Let's get to the bottom.
Hard-hitting questions. Yeah. So we did ask you about this last time. I want you to maybe elaborate on it a little bit. That you were in the transfer portal, and so what was the first school?
The first school?
Your first school?
Oh, Duke.
Duke, yeah. You go from Duke to UCLA. You didn't take a trip out there or anything.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And did they host you like it's a regular recruiting trip?
Yeah.
Took you out to dinner.
Yeah.
UCLA is fantastic.
It is awesome.
I took a recruiting trip there, and my brother was at Stanford already, so I went with him. But UCLA is
it's a little
palm
different.
trees, weather.
It's 75 degrees in December.
Lots of pretty people running around there.
There are nice-looking people in LA.
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it was a tough sell is what you're saying.
Real tough sell. Yeah. Coach Kelly. He got a phone call from me, maybe 12 hours after I'd left. Like, you know what?
I think
I'm
I can
I
hang with you guys
there
for a while.
not a bad space to be.
Hey, so give us a sense of the mood of the team. Obviously, things have not gone the right way the past few weeks. Even though last week was about maybe the best performance for the offense all season. Yeah. So I guess on your side of the ball, maybe you came out of it. It was still a loss, but feeling good about things. What's the mood?
I mean, the weird college, you lose 3-4 in a row, and it's like it's the end of the world. Yeah. The cool thing about this spot is, and it starts from the top with Coach Carroll, is we're just going to keep rolling. Obviously, you have things to correct. Obviously, in the back of your mind, it's like, we got to get going here. And for us, we want to keep it out of the rear view. And, I've heard Jordan Brooks say it in the media a little bit, but this is playoff mode. And in our eyes, we gotta win out, to ensure that we're, playing a little extra football at the end of the year. But it's just, one game at a time. Obviously, like you said, on offense, we pulled some things together that we hadn't been able to do in the weeks prior. And that helps everybody. It helps our defense. That's what people don't realize is last couple of weeks, that Thanksgiving game, did not perform offensively, what people don't realize is that hurts your defense. Your defense is out there all night, and at some point the dam's going to break. And with that offense San Francisco had, it did. And so, for us, we want to produce offensively, but it's also about protecting your defense a little bit too.
Yeah. Hey, Jake, when you came here for camp, I mean, most people were talking about, like, this guy's making the team. I mean, you're a free agent, and I know it probably didn't feel that way for you.
No.
Yeah. So, but, like he had a big game against Cleveland, especially Arizona.
Yep.
Do you have an idea during the week that this is going to be, you're going to figure prominently into the game plan, or does it just kind of happen on Sunday?
You have a good idea, like that Arizona game. DK was out, so obviously that opened up some opportunities for me. But if we're healthy, it's going to be 16, 14, and 11. And my job is, if those guys need a blow, if those guys need a breather, if they need a couple plays, all right, 19 will go in there and get it done and wait for them to get back out there. So that's kind of my role right now. In Cleveland, same thing. But for me, it's just, figuring out where I can help this team. And right now that's, backing those three up.
Hey, really quick, just that Cleveland game is where you scored the fly sweep, right?
Yeah.
Tell us through that, because it looked like you were running really hard. Like, I got to get outside. And you were like, oh, no, why don't I just step right here?
Is that how it went? The beautiful part was I only had to get 2.5, 3 yards, which is my kind of run. Just, stick your foot in the ground, get what you can get, and cross the goal line. Doesn't have to be fancy. Guys on the edge did a great job. I think this was out there. Happy to get in.
Well, speaking of fancy, the catch you made in the end zone, one hand, both feet down. We're all anticipating the replay. You feel everybody holding their breath, and then the roar of the crowd. So you got two cheer. You got the initial roar, and then it was like, oh man, maybe they're going to take it away, and then they don't. Where does that catch rank? I mean, high school, pee-wee, college. That's got to be one of the greatest catches you've ever made.
That's one. Oh yeah, for sure.
How many times have you rewatched that thing?
A lot of times. A lot of times.
How did I do that?
No shame in it.
That was a great catch.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I learned from the best. You watch 16, watch 14, and those guys, you pick up a little bit on that. So,
what a cool catch, though, just to be able to go back and look at that and go, you see what I did with my feet there? I didn't need two hands.
I meant to do that, for sure, yeah.
Well, and really, you got to split your brain in half, right? Because you got one trying to catch the ball, and then the feet. And that was one of the cooler when they came back, because they put the shot up there on the big screen, and then you probably got a bigger ovation than if you had just done it live, right? Yeah, so that was cool. Tell us about your teammates. DK, I was talking to him after the game the other day when he ran 22.5 miles an hour. I was making the comment that, like, if you get your car going 22.5 miles an hour, it doesn't feel like you're going that fast. But if you look to the side and see the trees and driveways going past, that dude was hauling.
He was hauling. I mean, that's the only way I get to experience 22.5 miles an hour is going in my car. That was cool to watch. He was rolling.
So how are him and Tyler as teammates, and as far as, because you got a rookie there with JSN,
right.
You guys are kind of the same boat, but those two vets, what are their personalities like?
I mean, they've taken care of us. Locke is he's the old man of the group. Don't cut that out, please. Please cut that out. And then DK, he's the leader of that room. And both of those guys have taken care of me and Jax, and some of the other older guys too. You talk about Derek, Cody, all those guys have helped us a ton in terms of scheme and getting comfortable in this offense. And then the other thing too is being able to watch those guys, watch 14 and watch Locke and how they run routes and learning how to manipulate DBs and zones and finding voids. I mean, the list goes on of stuff you learn from those guys, and so it's been really cool for me. I know it's been cool for Jax to play under those guys.
You've spent this year hearing people repeat to you, "Oh, he's not fast. He's slow." You hear it all the time. You seem to have a great sense of humor about it, but is there ever a point going, man, do you want to race? Because everybody that says that to you, you're going to blow away. I mean, everybody acts like you're crawling to the ball there. I mean, we're talking about tenths of a second difference between you and people that are perceived to be elite speed. Does it ever bug you, or are you just kind of like whatever?
No, man, it's whatever. Like you said, like if you line us up on the track, it won't be much of a race. But with that being said, I kind of I've accepted that role. I kind of like just being the, I'm a regular cat that goes out there on Sundays and catches passes and throws blocks. That honestly, we might be in the same speed range, and that is what it is. But it's a role I've learned to embrace, and I kind of enjoy it at this point.
Do you think any of the DBs that are up on you are kind of going, all right, I don't have to worry about this guy. He can't, and then maybe it works in your favor that they kind of sleep on you a bit.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. It's been I hate to say this, but also you look at pigmentation. I got this skinny white kid out here on the edge, man. I ain't gonna worry about this guy. And then, you turn him around and put him in a circle, and that's that.
So it works in your favor.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely, and you're using it, right?
Yeah,
I'm just a slow old white guy.
Don't worry about me, man. Hey, listen, keep your eyes over there with
That's the problem. You
DK
got me
and
handled.
those guys over there. Go look over there.
Yeah, you know who else was that way? Steve Largent.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, upstairs, Steve, there's a picture of him where he's got the DB like turned around sideways and he's catching a pass.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the one thing, because I was making a joke at the media combine last year. I ran a 5.3. And I'm like, and so I was bragging that I might be able to cover Jake Bobo.
Yeah.
But like, even if I ran a 4.3, it's one thing to run fast, but it's another thing to cover somebody.
Right.
And that's the thing where, with all the little moves and things like at the top of your route, that's what really comes into play, correct?
Right. Yeah, it's not necessarily, unless you're running a go route, a straight line.
Right.
That's, okay, you'll probably be able to cover me doing that. But receivers about, how well can you start and then stop?
Yeah.
And how well can you go this way and then that way? And so that's what I've worked on my whole life, and the speed thing kind of is what it is. But, I'm not working on 40-yard dashes anymore, I can tell you that.
Well, and that's not part of it.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, you're not running 40-yard dashes, right?
Yeah. No, it's you got such a cool attitude about it, man, and easy to see why you got the fan base that you do, and you're like the fifth Beatle out there. So
everybody loves you, man.
They do.
We do. We get lots of people.
I think it's more than the name.
More than
the
Bobo.
name might have something to do with it, but we appreciate you, man. Thanks so much
guys.
for coming in as always.
For sure.